Welcome back to Creating Stuff. I am starting a new kind of video on this channel. Is basically a lot of the stuff I like to put on has to do with the whole process and all the work I do to create something. And although that's really cool and fun, but unfortunately I can't video everything I do, and also I can't video everything that other people do. And once again, the whole purpose of this channel is I like to share creative ideas, create inspiration, things along that line. So this new line of videos I'm calling Show and Tell. And it's just as simple like that. Is basically, rather than showing you the entire process, I'm just showing you the final product. And the one what I'm showing and telling you with you today is kind of a tag-along video to one I did a while back on modification of a York AC compressor for compressed air. So I really want to show you the setup that I put one of those compressors on my Toyota for compressed air, and I just wanted to share with you what it looks like and how it works. Unfortunately, it's kind of buried in the engine compartment, but I'm going to show you the best I can. I think it looks pretty neat. So tell you what, let's get into it. All right, as you can tell, I just got back from a trip. The truck is still dirty. I went on a trip to Ocracoke Island in North Carolina, and I took this truck so I could drive on the beach. And the biggest reason I took this truck is because it has my belt-driven air compressor. So basically because I actually ran like very low tire pressures in these tires. These are not good tires for the beach. But actually after that trip I will beg to differ on that. They actually did very well. I just had them aired down about 5 psi. So to take them from 5 psi up to 30 psi so I can strap it down on the trailer, my belt-driven air compressor did a lot faster than any 12-volt compressor around. So, but I'll try to put a few quick pictures of that trip on to show you what it looked like. But anyways, well, here it is. This is where I mounted my York compressor. Basically, this is an '88 Toyota pickup with a solid axle swap. So I cut the IFS out, put the straight axle in a very long time ago. And this is not the original motor. This is a 3.4 liter V6 out of a Tacoma. The original engine was a 22 RE, and I had one of these compressors on the little 4-cylinder. I had a very crude bracket compared to this one, but it worked for a very long time. So basically I put the compressor in place of the air conditioning compressor, so this truck will never have air conditioning, and this has never been an issue. And then you can see my two lines. You can tell the discharge line is a braided stainless steel line. You need to do that because the discharge air is rather hot. And then this rubber line here, this is the actual air intake, which I moved it as high as I could in the engine compartment. I had it put an air filter on it up there. So I'll see if I can get you a closer view of this. But as you can see, it's a tight fit. Actually, it's a very tight fit. I used a serpentine belt compressor. The Tacoma engine basically uses small serpentine belts, individual belts for each accessory. So unfortunately, luckily, the grooves on those miniature serpentine belts were the same as the big ones. So all I'm using is just a portion of this pulley. And for anyone who wants to say it's not going to work, this has been on there for 10 months, so it works. All right, still a very tight view, but here's another view of it. This is the actual compressor. Here's the bracket I made that actually bolts onto the side of the engine block, and Now comes the fun part. This is just an idler tensioner pulley off of a factory 3/4 air conditioner. And basically I just made a bracket, had to space it out to get the pulley to align, and tension this bolt, loosen that bolt, tension that bolt, tensions the belt. Where the fun part begins is this idler pulley up here, because the big issue I had with mounting this compressor was this right here is the power steering belt. Here's the air compressor belt, power steering belt, and it would come across and it would actually hit the clutch of the compressor. So I spent a couple of months trying to move the power steering pump up, and I just had a lot of trouble with making it work until there toward the end I had a brainstorm, and I ended up adding in this idler pulley. This is an idler pulley for a timing belt on another 3/4, and I had to have a custom bracket made for it that is actually holding it. And this idler pulley is what makes everything work, is because it might be a little hard to see, but the air compressor belt comes off this main pulley and comes around the underside of it, then up over the compressor. Well, the power steering belt, this belt goes over top of that idler pulley. That's why it has a nice shiny spot right there, and it goes over top of that pulley and keeps the belt off of the AC compressor clutch. So and like I said, it's weird because I've never seen anyone use any manufacturer use an idler pulley like that, where you have two belts going two different directions. But in the end, since both belts are driven by this pulley right here, both belts are going the same speed. The linear speed of the belt is the same speed, although the driven pulleys, such as the air compressor and the power steering, are different sizes. These pulleys move at different speeds, but the linear speed of the belt between these two belts is the same. So that's why that works. And then the nice thing is, since you have one belt pulling on the pulley one way, the other pulling the other, the bracket only has to be so strong, because normally when, like this one, this bracket has to be very strong because it has to hold this pulley going this way, and it's going to have to hold it going. It's going to have to pull it back this way. This pulley wants to go that way and this way. So that's why that has to be pretty substantial, where that bracket really doesn't have to be, because the load that's putting on that pulley is opposing force. So that, like I said, it doesn't look normal, but it works. And I apologize about the difficult view under here, but it's really the best I got without having to take the whole damn truck apart. So I'll tell you what, I'm going to show you a little peek up top, what I have up top, and we'll go from there. Alright, if you thought you didn't have a good view on the underside, you got even less on the top. So you got a view of the power steering pump, and right down there is the compressor clutch for the air compressor. So but unfortunately, the biggest thing I'm going to show you up here is, if you remember that red hose, that hose comes all the way up to here, where I put an intake air filter for it. So I wanted to keep this up high, keep it up out, because this truck can go in water and mud, and I wanted to keep that up out of the water and mud as best I can. It'll get splashed in mud sooner or later. As you can see, my engine compartment is very dirty. This truck has not had an easy life. So, but that's where I put my air filter. 3D printed a little bracket, and then another little byproduct of it is this right here. Is although this is my throttle control for my my welder. All right. This is a 3D printed switch panel that I made. You notice that I did a raised lettering in different color. I did that through the 3D printing process. So that actually, the only drawback with this panel is the quality of plastic is low, so it has trouble withstanding heat in this engine compartment. But I mainly use the throttle control for this, for my Premier Power Welder. That's for another video. But basically, you turn it on, and what I did is with up and down, this up here is a factory cruise control module, which I hacked it. And with the up and down switch actually operates the throttle. So I can actually put and with that I can raise my RPM up to 1500 RPM, so the air compressor can produce more volume. And then a little shortcut I made for the compressor is this arm and disarming switch, is that turns it on or off. And first and foremost, in order for this to work, the parking brake has to be set. I interlocked it to the parking brake, and instead of having to hit this switch, I have a switch inside the cab where once I turn the air compressor on, it'll automatically arm this system, and then I have a switch inside the cab where I can just bump up the RPM so I get the volume I want. So that's a neat little feature I put in. Well, this is a very short video, quick, down and dirty. Unfortunately, like I said in the beginning, this is my new video series called Show and Tell, and because the process that I went through building all this was pretty lengthy, and I actually started this before I reinvented my YouTube channel. So, and this has kind of been ongoing in the background, and once again, I actually had an issue where it wouldn't work. I couldn't figure it out for a while. Unfortunately, I had other things come up where I couldn't work on it, so it took me a while to get this all sorted out. But once I got it sorted out, got working, the thing works phenomenal. I couldn't ask for any more. I can air my tires up very, very quickly. I have enough volume. I can seat the bead on tires if I had to, but that's what I want for this truck. This truck is designed to be a survivor. I can take it to some of the most remote places, and it has the capabilities to repair. I have all the tools and abilities to fix almost anything on this truck, along with anybody else's vehicles. And that's but once again, that's just what I like in my trucks. So, all right, well, I'm going to wrap this up. Unfortunately, I did not share you the whole process of this, as I previously explained. But you know, sometimes I can't do that with everything. I'm just showing you what I've done or what other people have done. So, but once again, that's the biggest thing I'd like to do, is inspire creativity and inspiration. So, well, I'll tell you what, I'm just going to quit my yakking, bring this video to a close. I hope you enjoyed it. Please subscribe if you're not, and until the next time, be creative.